Hi, my name is Donna Polichetti, and my favorite hobby is community theater. I love theater. It's been part of my life since I was young. When I was 7 or 8, my church started up a community theater group. My dad was involved. They did My Fair Lady, which is a really big musical for a first show. It was wonderful. I remember going back several times. I sat there with my mom, and I sat there with my grandparents, and I watched. And I sat there in the audience, and I sang the songs with them, and I was amazed at this spectacle. When I was 9, I actually got to be in my first production, and it was like no other feeling in the world. It was amazing. The next show that they did, there weren't children involved, and I was absolutely heartbroken that I could not be up there with them and out there on stage with them. So I knew at that point that theater was going to be part of my life for forever. When I was 18, I got to direct my first show by default. They didn't have a director for it, and I said, well, don't worry about it. I said, I'll cast it, and I'll get you started until you find a director. Needless to say, I ended up directing, which was wonderful because I realized at that point that I also loved that aspect of it as much as I loved acting on stage. I like the whole process. I love it from beginning to end and everything in between. The only part that's miserable is auditions. Auditions are terrible if you're an actor or a director. They're just miserable. But I love the whole process of putting a show together and then watching it and watching the audience enjoy it. It's wonderful. My whole family is involved in theater. I met my husband doing Pippin in community theater. I backpacked my son through rehearsals when he was a baby. We would bring the kids to rehearsals all the time. They literally grew up in the theater. We all got to do a show together years ago at the local college. We got to do Annie as a family, which was wonderful. My kids do it in high school. They do it in college. My best friends are people that I've met over the years in community theater. It's amazing. It's my passion. It's my love. When I'm not doing it, I feel like there's something missing. And I'm fortunate in that where I live, there is so much community theater that we get to do it all the time. So I'm very fortunate.